live, Ishbani.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Inside IIM. I'm your host for the day. My name is Ishbani. I completed my MBA from FMS Delhi this year in 2023. Currently, I'm working with Mars Wrigley in their marketing and sales division. As CAT 2023 is round the corner, I hope everyone's preparation is going fine and everyone is ready for the exam. But today, I'm here not for solving any paper, not for giving you any expert tips. I am here to share my experience and to share the things which are as important as your learning and your knowledge. So, knowledge is one part of the paper, but CAT is not an exam which tests your knowledge. It tests your ability to solve the paper in exam situation, in exam pressure. Many times you all have witnessed that in mocks the questions are very simple, but we skip those questions or under pressure we were unable to solve them under mock conditions, right? This has happened with everyone out there. So today we are going to discuss how to deal with exam pressure, what are the external factors which play an important role on the D day. So today our topic would be how to deal with all these things. So giving the exam in a exam situation, that is the examination hall, a computer screen which is not our laptop screen on which we have given mocks, so it becomes very different and very difficult for everyone. The heartbeat rises and the situation changes all of a sudden. That has happened with me as well and everyone out there. And I have seen people who have performed bitterly on D Day just because they were not familiar with this exam situation. So I had friends whom I used to refer or reach out to in case I was unable to solve some questions, but they were not able to perform well on the exam day under pressure. So the first thing is be ready for that. There would be change in setting. There wouldn't be your computer screen. There won't be comfort zone. So there would be a lot of aspirants out there who don't be upset or don't be under pressure. Just believe in yourself, just believe in your preparation. There's nothing much that you can do right now. You have enough knowledge, and CAT exam is not nuclear science that you can't learn it, or there's something that you don't know. It's just your presence of mind on D-Day that would help you. So analyze paper. So how we can, we'll just discuss section wise, like how we can deal with the paper. First, analyze paper. Whichever section comes up first, just start analyzing it. For example, we are starting with verbal ability and reading comprehension section. So just skim through the paper first. There would be different passages and there would be questions related to VA. Whichever section you are comfortable with between these two, just start with that. Just find your comfort zone. See, strategy is not something that is one fit for all. It depends on person to person. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. So just start with the section which that you are comfortable with, and after that, find familiar topics, the topics you have read upon, and then start solving passages. But when you are solving passages, also refer to questions as well so that you know which part of the passage to focus on and to save your time, because 40 minutes passes in a quick of an eye. They pass very quickly. So just be, just be wary of the tick tick clock on your screens, and just keep in mind that you have limited time. So just skim through the paper first and just make use first 5 minutes of your exam to just make a plan. Okay, in this section I'm going to solve this way. First I'm going to read through this passage, and don't be attached to any question. In case you are unable to solve any question, you're not able to find any answer, just move to the next question. Don't waste your time. Maybe there would be a concept of familiarity. You might have done such kind of a question in mocks, but now you are unable to solve it. But just leave it, come back to it. There would be some questions which are easy, which are hidden. Just find them first. So don't be attached to any question, any topic. Just move ahead. Next, we move to the next section, which is LRDI. So in LRDI, what I have witnessed most of the time is the first question is very difficult and it's very, intimidating, and people get scared of it. And that has a, very bad effect on our morale, and that affects our performance and then rest of the questions. But when you analyze the paper, there would be one or two sets which are doable. One set would be easy for you, the other set would be doable for you, another one would be difficult for you, which you won't be able to solve even when you're given unlimited amount of time. So just skim which set is the one which is easy for you. There would be at least one set, you have practiced so much, there would be at least one set which is quite easy for you. Just look for the right set, you'll find it somewhere hidden. So again, in LRDI, start skimming the paper, read through all the sections, and also see the ask of the question. Sometimes we just miss a word, we miss one a bit, a number, a hint in the question, which drastically changes our approach and our answer. So I'll share my experience. This happened me with me. I appeared for CAT 2020, and there was an easy Venn diagram question. The Venn diagram was quite simple, and I had solved such kind of questions in my mocks as well. But when it came to D-Day pressure, I was unable to solve it, and I kept solving that question where I could have solved other questions as well, because I was attached that this is an easy question. I've already solved such kind of questions. I will solve this here itself. But that didn't work. So I just skipped that question and moved to the other sets, which I was able to solve. And I came back to it. So then I realized I was committing a mistake. I read the question wrong. I read a number wrong. And that was the reason that I was not able to solve it. So if I would have stuck to that question, I couldn't have solved the next questions, which were very easy and which really helped me get through the paper. So don't be attached to any question. Just come back to questions. Even if you're not able to solve anything at that current moment, take your time, take a deep breath, and just believe in yourself, because it's not nuclear science. There would be some questions that you will be able to solve definitely few questions. So just believe in that. So when we come to the last section, which is quants, again, there would be, so this is a section which contains maximum number of questions. And this is the most trickiest section in the form that questions would be hidden somewhere. So there would be an easy question hidden in between, but we start from the very first question and we are unable to reach easier questions at the end. So don't commit that mistake. That's a very common mistake. Just skim through the paper in a smart manner. For example, first, just skim the first question and the last question, and the second last, or whatever suits you. But skim all the questions. Don't miss anything, because it can happen that what you miss might be the easiest thing for you to do on that day. And if you are getting some, and just revise it well. Maybe you just see that you're reading the paper well, because questions are deceptively tricky as well. So they seem easy on the face value, but when you solve it, there would be one hidden thing in that which most of the people are likely to miss, and there would be one option which would be supporting that as well. So we become happy that okay, this the option is there, so this is the right answer, and we got +3. But in reality, instead of +3, we get -1. So just be wary of that fact and don't fall into such traps, because there would be such traps for you. So don't fall for that. And most important thing is keep your calm, don't panic, because I have seen people succumbing to pressure on the exam day, and it has nothing to do with their capability. They are capable enough to solve entire cat paper, but they were not able to solve it under pressure. So just keep your calm. Don't be under pressure due to circumstances. You will find questions to solve. That would be for sure. And don't let one section affect the other section. Maybe LRA didn't go as per the expectations, but don't carry that momentum into the next section. Just start the next section afresh. There, don't start it with the grief of the previous section. Let it be what has happened, but don't carry that for your next sections. So let's see if any of you has any questions by now. So I see one question which says, I want to attempt verbal ability questions first, then RCs. Do you think it will impact my performance in RCs, as VA questions are not lengthy but little exhaustive? See, I don't really believe that it's going to impact your performance, because both are important component of the paper. And when you start with VA, like I used to, switch between starting with VA and RCs, and I used to experiment a lot while solving mocks. And in some mocks, I used to start with solving RCs first, and in some mocks, I used to start with verbal ability first. So if starting with verbal ability suits you and it helps you gain momentum, it helps you gain reading momentum, and you are able to manage the whole section within 40 minutes, then it is completely fine to start with verbal ability. And it's a good thing, because when you start with verbal ability, you get reading momentum. You start with smaller questions, and when you start reading longer passages, it becomes easier for you. So it entirely depends upon you. It won't affect your productivity for sure. I hope you have done that before in your mocks as well. So if you are comfortable with starting with verbal ability first, just definitely go with that. Don't come in words of any person. Just don't believe me or any other person right out there. Just believe in your strategy. Whatever suits you the best, just start with that. Okay, let's see if there are any questions. So someone is asking, should I take rest from tomorrow to till 26 or revise questions? So what I would suggest to do at this point of time is, you can give one mock in next 3 days if you want. Maximum one. Please don't exhaust yourself with two mocks, three mocks a day, because it won't add any value. Because not only solving mocks is important, but instead of solving mocks, also need to analyze mocks. So at this time, I think you should chill a bit. You shouldn't pressurize yourself with solving mocks and everything. But at the same time, you should become familiar with the exam conditions, and you should be in a frame of mind that, okay, you have to sit for 2 hours and solve the paper. Learn from your mistakes which you have committed in past papers or past mocks. So just I hope you all have made an account of what mistakes or what learnings you had gained from previous papers or mocks. In case you haven't made that, don't worry, just open the mocks that you have already solved. What were your mistakes? What kind of questions you were not able to solve? And if you have a formula notebook for quants and an important question notebook for LRDI, just go ahead with that. It will really help you. So just revise at this point of time. Don't pressurize yourself or don't burden yourself in number of mocks. Okay, I'm going to give 3 mocks today, and there's 2 days left. Today's 23rd. We are just left with 24th and 25th. So just revise formulas, just see the mistakes that you have already committed. One thing, except so moving ahead from this question, one thing that helped me personally, if you guys want to try, you can. So what I realized when I used to go to when I used to sit for mocks, and the first RC that I used to read, it used to take much time than the rest of the RCs. So I was not I it takes me time to get in the reading momentum. So what I did on the exam day was I read some articles and I then went for the exam, because now I was in that frame of mind. I was not starting fresh on that day. I read something on that day already. So it really helped me save some time. So that was my experience, which I experienced in mocks. So you all must have your set of experiences. So just try to believe that what works best for you and do that. So let's see if we have some other questions. So someone is asking, how did you tackle DILR? Like, how did you look for easy sets? So see, for DILR, there are limited number of sets. There would be 4 to 5 sets. So don't jump to any set before skimming through the entire paper. Just make strategy for DILR in first 5 minutes. So just for example, the 40 minutes for DILR is starting right now. Just skim through all the sets. The first set, okay, this is from Venn diagram and it looks doable for me because I've already done this kind of set. Okay, I can come back to this question. Let's see what lies ahead. Maybe there is an easier set ahead. Okay, the second set is a set of so it's a data interpretation set. It has a bar graph, a pie chart. It includes a lot of data. If I say, okay, I'm not good with data, but I see that approach is a bit, I can understand approach. Okay, this maybe I can solve it. but not right now, because if I start with it and I'm unable to solve it, I'm going to waste 10 to 15 minutes of my exam, which I don't want to do in any case. So okay, just leave it. If I don't find anything else, I'll start doing this question. Okay, I come to the third set. I am not able to understand anything in it. I don't know how to solve it. I have never come across anything like that. So okay, I'm not going to do it. Let's see what lies in the next set. And if I see the fourth set, okay, that is also doable. I In this paper, let's assume that I didn't find any easy set. So out of two doable sets, the set number 1 and set number 4, I'll start doing one set. For example, I start doing the number 1 set, and I'm not able to solve it completely, but I'm able to solve two questions out of it. Okay, don't just be attached to that set. Okay, I'm going to solve four questions and then I'm going to move to the next set, because it may end up taking much of your time, which is not productive time, because there are sets which always have two questions easy and two questions difficult and something in that form. So don't be attached. Just solve first two questions. Okay, you got those 6 marks. Just move to the next set. I moved to the fourth set, which was equally doable, and maybe I was able to solve all four questions in that. Okay, so now again I am left with 10 minutes, for example, in the paper. Third set was out of my league, so I am not going to solve that. But I can come back to the second set, which seemed that maybe I'm able to solve. There would be four questions. First question I'm unable to understand. Maybe second question I'm able to do, and it has no link to the first one. So don't see LRDI sets as a set of four questions, but also see them individually. There may be four questions, but there may be one or two questions which are doable. So if we analyze my performance in this hypothetical paper that I just said, so I was able to do two questions in the very first set, maybe one or two in the fourth set, and one in the second set that I talked about. So seven questions I was able to perform, and if I assume that I performed there with 100% accuracy, I scored a decent sum of marks, though I was not good at LRDI, but I was good with selection of questions. So in LRDI, not only your performance matters, but your selection of questions plays a very important role, because if you start with the wrong set, it may end up consuming 10 to 15 minutes of your exam's precious time. So don't commit that mistake. If you're not able to solve it, just leave it there itself. Just look for things that you are able to solve. And there would be a point where you'll be like, I'm not able to solve it. Maybe uh, this is not going to happen today. I'm not able to solve it. Don't panic. You'll be able to solve it. So it happened with me in LRDA paper. I was unable to solve anything. I started with one set, it didn't turn up. I started with another set, I solved it, but I was not sure whether I solved it correctly or whether I was wrong. So I had no clarity. Maybe I scored plus 12 or maybe I scored minus 4. I didn't know. So there would be this kind of situation, and the trust me, the clock on your exam day screen would be very, very irritating than your marks, and that would be very intimidating as well. So don't be scared of that. Just plan your paper accordingly, especially your LRDI paper, because 40 minutes just passes in blink of an eye. So be wary of that fact and plan your paper, especially in LRDI, because there are limited number of sets. You can't plan whole of your quant paper at the very start, because there are so many questions. You can't, just look at them once and you can decide, okay, I'm going to do this first or that first. So this is the strategy that you can use in LRDI question. So let's see what other questions we have. How to cope up with negative thoughts about the exam. So that is something that you have to manage. See, everyone is writing CAT exam with expectations of bright future. Everyone wants to get into their dream B school, but that is something that may or may not happen. So just don't be preoccupied with that thought that I'm going to write this exam and I'm going to get into my dream college and going to get the dream job, dream placement. That is utopian world, a fairy tale world. But let's come back to the real world. It's just an exam. So it can help in your future, but it is not a sole criteria for a successful future. So just write it as an exam. Don't be so much obsessed with it. Just, calm your mind, whatever puts your mind at ease. Maybe it's music, maybe it's meditation, or just do whatever works for you. Just maybe pray to God, because that's what I did. So whatever suits you best, whatever puts your mind at ease, just try to do that. Just don't be, obsessed with the fact that it's a do or die situation for me. Oh my God, I'm not able to solve this question, my future is ruined. Nothing of that sort is going to happen. There are many other, even in the worst case scenario, if anything bad happens, there are other exams as well. So just don't panic. If you don't trust me, if you don't panic, you will be able to solve at least 3 4 questions more in the exam. So panicking is not an option. Please don't panic on exam day. When I came back from exam, and uh, keys started coming from various coaching institutes and everything. So first thought that came to my mind, that if I didn't panic, so I panicked in LRDI, and I carried the same panicky momentum in the next section, which is quants. So when I analyzed paper, when I went back home, I understood if I didn't panic, I would have solved at least 3 4 questions more in quants, which would have amounted to plus 12 score, which would have made a very, very, much difference in my overall percentile and my rank. So that was, a big time learner for me. So it's good to learn from others people mistake rather than committing them yourself. So learn from, and it's not a story that only I'm sharing. So this is a story of every aspirant who has written cat out there. So just learn from their mistakes and don't panic, and just don't be obsessed with it. Let's see if we have any other question. So I don't think we have other questions. So guys, the major takeaway for today is that instead of focusing, being obsessed with any question, just play smart. Don't be attached or emotional to any question. Play smart, skim through the questions, because no matter how much you have scored in mocks, or how much you have practiced question, or how much knowledge you have gathered, it won't matter until and unless you solve them in a smart and in a time bound way. So cat exams not only test your ability to solve a profit and loss question, but it tests your ability to solve that under pressure in a time bound way. And that's what management is about, and that's why cat is designed in such a way. So just don't attach it to your knowledge, but also just act smart that day, please. And whatever suits you best, just do that. Don't follow strategy of a person. What if a XYZ person is sharing the strategy, be it me or be it someone else, just don't follow it blindly, because it really depends from person to person. Everyone's strengths and weaknesses are different. So just look out what suits you best. I hope everyone has given enough number of mocks to understand what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, and try to analyze them, try to learn from them. Maybe something comes up in exams on the same format and you are able to solve that, because I have seen people who say that okay, this was a mistake they committed in the mocks, but they were able to solve that well when it came in the exam. So just learn from that, and I wish you all good luck for exam, and I hope everyone just perform with flying colors. So big time all the best from team inside IIM, and we all are here to support you. So I hope we see you on the other side of the table soon. Good luck. Bye bye.